In this lecture, we are going to revise friend function. This is the overview of our tutorial. First, we will see introduction to friend function, then why there is a need of friend function, and an example based on friend function. So let's start with introduction to friend function. As we all know, the private data is not accessible outside the class. To access the private data outside the class, we use friend function. So a friend function is not a member function of the class. And friend function can be invoked without using an object because it's not a member function of that particular class. So there is no need to use an object while calling the friend function. The argument passed in the friend function is used as its object. Now let us see the declaration of a friend function. This friend keyword is used to declare a friend function. Then we write return type just as normal function and function name, and in the argument we pass class name and the object of that particular class. Now we will see why there is a need of using friend function. Whenever we create any class, we define data members and member function to access those data. Here for class student, ID and marks are private data members and display is a member function for this class. Display function can access ID and marks. Class always follow a simple characteristics called encapsulation, that is, wrapping of data and function into a single unit. There is a need of encapsulation because the data which is there in this class is private and we want it to be secured. Only the function within the class can access this private variable. So this class is an example of encapsulation. Suppose we are having one another class faculty. So ID is a private data member for this faculty and setMarks is a member function to access this private data. This setMarks function cannot access private data member of student class and display function cannot access private data of this faculty class. Why? The reason is encapsulation. If we want to access private data member of a student class from this faculty class from this setMarks function, then this setMarks function has to be there in the student class. But we want that functionality to be given to faculty class. So we want to violate the concept of encapsulation. Here comes the need of friend function. Friend function can solve over this problem. We have to define a friend function in both the classes in such a way that it is ready to access private data member of both the classes. Now we will see an example for this. Now we will write a program for adding two matrices from two different classes and display its sum using friend function. For this program we are using two different classes. So first class is matrix and here inside this class the data member is A. This is a private data member and this data member is for representing 2 by 2 matrix in which 2 rows and 2 columns will be there. The function setData is there. We are defining this setData function to initialize a matrix of 2 by 2 dimensions. So this 2 by 2 matrix will be needing 4 values. So I am going to define setData function. Enter 4 values and there of 2 for loops, one outer and one inner for getting the values for this A 2 by 2 matrix. So we are using Aij for accessing values of 2 cross 2 matrix. Here I and j are used to represent rows and columns of the matrix respectively. Another method I am going to define inside this class matrix is display. Again, 2 for loops are there in the display method to display the contents of matrix A. So I and j will represent rows and columns respectively. To go to the next line, after displaying the complete row, we are using this statement, this AND statement, for going to the next row. To add different metrics now, there is need to define one friend function inside class metrics. So I'm going to define friend function now. The name of my friend function is sum. This matrix 1 is return type for my friend function. It is going to accept two objects. One is for matrix 1 and another is for matrix 2. So this is the declaration of my friend function. This friend function sum takes two parameters. First parameter is an object of matrix 1 and second parameter is an object of matrix 2. And this returns result in the form of matrix 1. Since we are using matrix 2 inside this friend function and inside the class matrix 1, matrix 2 has to be declared prime. So we are declaring matrix 2 prior to the class matrix 1. Otherwise, it will show syntax error because compiler is not aware of matrix 2. So it has to be declared prior to matrix 1. Now I am going to write class matrix 2. For this I am going to copy the whole code and pasting it. For matrix 2, the code will be same. Only I need to change the parameter name. So the parameter will be B. Again, two for loop for taking values for B and two for loop for displaying the contents for B. This friend function will be same for both the classes. The declaration will be same. So here I am defining this friend function sum. While defining, there is no need to write friend keyword over here. This matrix 1 is the return type of this friend function sum, and it is taking two parameters. M1 is the object of matrix 1, M2 is the object of matrix 2. So this friend function sum is taking two parameters for both the classes. I am taking result as a variable of matrix 1. Now for adding the content of both the matrices, I will be needing two for loops. Two for loops, inner and outer for loops for adding the content of both the matrices. So my code will be like this. Result, I will access variable A on result. A is the variable of matrix 1. Object name is M1. So M1 dot same name B. The variable of matrix M2 is B. So I have written my code over here. Now I will return result. Okay. So this will be the definition of my friend function. Now I'm going to write main function at main. So I need to take two objects of matrix 1 and matrix 2. So I'm taking M1 result and matrix 2 as M2. So for getting the values of matrix 1, I'm going to write two statements. The value for matrix 1 and I will call set data function on object of matrix 1, and same is for matrix 2. So I'm going to write for matrix 2 and m2 dot set data. This is statement for calling of friend function. Result res is equals to sum m1 m2. Now because this is a friend function, sum is friend function, so there is no need to call it on any object. So res is equals to sum m1 and m2. We are passing two objects as an argument to this friend function because it takes object as a first parameter, object of matrix 1 as a first parameter, and the object of matrix 2 as a second parameter. And the result will be stored in res, which is the object of matrix 1. Now for displaying the content of matrix 1, I am writing again m1.display, and for matrix 2 I am going to write m2 and m2.display. And for result will be stored in res. So I am going to write m1 plus m2 and res dot display. And here will be the return statement, return 0. So this is our complete program. Now let us execute this program. Enter 4 values for matrix 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the content for matrix 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. For matrix 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And resultant matrix m1 plus m2, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So that's it for today's friend function lecture.